Well, you'll have to say it was a regal bit of service from the Buttler, a bit of flourish from Samson Hetmyer. But the real question I think we'll want to try and answer before the show is out is it enough? Despite all the calisthenics and the stroke play, 100 from Buttler, 35 of just 14 from Samson Hetmyer. Rajasthan finished on the wrong side of 200. We might be saying 193 is already looks a good total, but the question is it? I'm joined on Cricbuzz Live by Joy Bhattacharjya and Harsha Bhogle. Harsha, the only team to have defended a total successfully so far. Have they got enough to defend this time around?
And they could well be the second team to do it. There's no Surya Kumar Yadav, remember? So if Kieron Pollard has a big game, they get a great start and then look for the finish from a Tim David and a Daniel Sams. If it gets that far, yes. But most days, including today, you'd say 193 is good. I know you'll turn down and say, yeah, RCB couldn't defend 205. I mean, you never know. Most days, 193 is good enough. That 3 and 4 will have to deliver. Tilak Varma and Anmol Preet. Look at what happened when Rajasthan were batting. Jaiswal and Padikkal might have gone, but Samson and Hetmyer played that big role. So someone's got to replicate a Buttler, then the other cameos will come.
Yeah, I guess a fair point, Joy. Perhaps I was being a little harsh. Perhaps I was looking at those stats of the 200s that were actually chased down. But as Harsha said, 193 runs on the board. Also consider the bowling lineup that Rajasthan have.
Exactly. That's what I was about to come to. I mean, you're talking about Prasidh Krishna, who bowled beautifully in the first match. Trent bowled, Ashwin, Chahal. This is a very decent side. And of course, you have as your fifth bowler, Riyan Parag as well. So it's a very well-rounded bowling attack you see out there. And I just want to say one thing, though. I love the way...
He's the sixth, though. He's the sixth.
Oh, of course, they have Navdeep Saini as well. Of course, they have Navdeep Saini.
Yeah.
But the question I want to say is that I love the one point that our friend Simon picked up in the studios, which was that when Jos Buttler, that out that he got, he made sure that he didn't celebrate so that Mumbai Indians wasted a review. Because had he celebrated for the 100, almost surely Rohit Sharma would have known that this guy's, it must have hit the bat, otherwise he wouldn't be celebrating on it position like that. So the presence of mind to do that is quite something, I was thinking.
You can play the bluff too, couldn't you? You could play the bluff and even if you've not hit it, go, I got 100 to con them into thinking, he knows I won't take the review. So I guess at level of gamesmanship, it could go both ways. Yeah. But you're right about the bowling though, Joy, because this is a very good bowling side. And if you look at Rohit Sharma, left arm swinging into the pad, has had some success with him against him. Trent Bolt has got a pretty decent matchup against Rohit Sharma too. So Mumbai will need to get off to that kind of start. They've got the hitters, but look at this. Navdeep Saini hasn't bowled for a while. Haven't seen him bowl for a while. And then we'll have to see what there is for the spinners. I think, Joy, if this was a night game, I might have said maybe the batting side's got a chance here. They always have a chance, but I still think it's the bowling side ahead at this stage.
Fair point. No due factor as well. But let's dwell on Jos Buttler, Harsha. It's a bit of tactics at the end. Maybe didn't get the strike from Hetmyer towards the fag end of his innings. But once again, every time he gets a big innings, we see that he's willing to take it deep. He's willing to play the kind of strokes. And I think the one thing that would sum it up, the ease with which he plays it. He doesn't look... I mean, Hetmyer, he's out there. He's playing shots in anger and strength.
I mean, there was a time, wasn't there, Joy? And Gautam, Sanju Samson and Jos Buttler are batting. And you thought they're not even going to work up a sweat here. I don't think Sanju Samson sweats if he bats for 4 hours and it's 250 runs. He just seems, I'm okay. But him and Jos Buttler were literally looking like you're taking a pet for a walk. Let me just say, tuck, doom, and they're hitting sixes. I mean, it was ridiculous how easy they were making batting look. Sanju Samson 30 of 21, Buttler 49 of 29 in there. But you mentioned Hetmyer and that the Buttler didn't get the strike, but it doesn't matter at that point because whoever's producing the runs does it, and Hetmyer, I mean, that's the difference. You got it right. When Hetmyer is batting, he's batting because every muscle of his body is put into that shot. So West Indians, people in the Caribbean having a great tournament.
Yeah, there was a little poll about Hetmyer versus Pollard, and not long after that pole, Hetmyer took Pollard to the cleaners, Joy. Almost as if he knew.
No, absolutely. And see the brutality. The one thing that's happening nowadays is, notice one thing. Before this, when you hit 2 or 3 sixes and over, by and large, you stopped and you said that, okay, that's enough. I've scored my runs. Let me push the singles. This IPL, notice the number of 20, 25, 26 run overs you're getting. When a guy thinks he's in a roll and he's hitting it right, he just keeps hitting. The next, so you in this innings, you've had 47 go off 2 overs. One 26 run over, which Josh Buttler just took Thumpy to the cleaners. And then, of course, Hetmyer and Pollard. So when they're taking advantage, they're not stopping now and saying 2 is enough. Let me pat it back. Let me change the strike. They'll say, okay, let me get 25 in this over and kill off the game. And that's, I think, new. I'm seeing it much more this time.
I can tell you there's an interesting point.
Yeah.
Harsha, during the auction, when Rajasthan went after Hetmyer, I was there, I was doing a few little pieces, and I just happened to be asking the strong question to the CEO of the Rajasthan Royals. I said, even the West Indies have a few problems with Hetmyer's fitness. He's not walking into their side. Any concerns about the fact that you've picked him? And he said, just wait and see when he steps out on the field, mate.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I was just looking at yesterday's game where Bhanuka Rajapaksa made 31 of 9 balls. The previous game, he did something similar. And here's another player who doesn't get picked on fitness grounds. Shimron Hetmyer, fitness problems. Look at what Shimron Hetmyer has done here. 35 of 14, 32 of 13. He's made 67 runs of 27 balls. Gee, I'd love my players not to be fit if they're going to deliver results like that. So you've seen Rajapaksa, you've seen Hetmyer, but here's one for the two of you. Here's an interesting one. Which one of you? Maybe Gautam. Gautam, you are, I'm not saying you're the gambler, but you'll understand this probably. If you had 3 overs, if you had 3 overs from Kieron Pollard, right? 2 good overs from Kieron Pollard is a bonus. The other day, same thing happened with Deepak Hooda. 2 good overs, it's a bonus. Do you take your profits and run? Or do you game it a little bit more and say, I'm on a good day, maybe I could earn a little bit more, and see what happened today with Pollard?
I'm the kind of gambler who takes profits and runs all the time. The other day, it's not in hindsight. The other day, we all looked and said, no, not another one for Hooda. He's done his job. Today, it was a case of, and we've seen Pollard can get hit. When he gets hit, he gets badly hit. Even in the Caribbean, for the West Indies, in this tournament, and that extra over 11.5 doesn't tell you, Joy and Harsha, that his first couple of overs, which he was brought on to take away Basil Thumpy's overs, were actually very, very good.
Yeah, looking at that over, Joy, just looking down that over, where are we? 26 runs. So he's 3 overs 20. Pollard 3 overs 20. You're saying, this is great, man. I've got the cake, I've got the chips, I've got the drink. Thank you very much. I've had a party, I'm going. And then 26 of the next. That shows you how little he trusted Basil Thumpy.
Or
maybe just not Thumpy to...
Maybe it was too late to bring Ashwin back. Maybe it was too late to bring Ashwin back.
No, you couldn't have.
Maybe you got Butler's batting.
Yeah, you couldn't have got Ashwin back, definitely, because it's the 70th over we're talking about. Right. So you couldn't have done it, this thing. But Thumpy, so 1 over 26 versus 3 over 20 is what he was looking at. And clearly he said that this is the same guy who can do this again. That guy is still around. I'm not going to take the chance. There is no other reason for doing it. But and I have a feeling Pollard would have turned around and said, I've given you 3 good overs, Cap. Isn't that enough for you today? And he said, no, just one more. And there goes my
but knowing Pollard, he's probably backing himself.
True.
And saying, I'll give you one more. So who knows?
Yeah, I think, Harsha, you're dead right there. He's knowing the personality that he is. He would have walked up to Rohit and just taken the ball, not even asked, and said, trust me, leave it to me. Mehuna. He is that kind of a person.
Pollard's the kind who wouldn't mind having a little go. You think Hetmyer, he didn't take a single to turn round and have a chat with Pollard. But do you think as he hit one, he said, am I fit, skipper? Am I fit, skipper?
Oh, boy. Oh, yes, he would. But the one other person I'd like to get in his ear at this moment, don't know Shane Bond well enough, is Zahir Khan, Harsha. Even if he had a phone in the dugout, I don't think he'd answer our call right now. A few problems in that Mumbai lineup at the moment with the bowling, other than Jasprit Bumrah.
I think they were lucky that, you never say lucky when a bowler has a good day, but Daniel Sams came back and bowled all right. 4 overs 32 on that surface. He's done okay. But in this team, Sams is the fifth bowler. He'll play as a fifth bowler. He's batting at 7. He'll play as a fifth bowler. So they need to back Basil Thampi. He's had one big over in the first game against him, and he's had one big over against him now. Are they going to keep backing Basil Thampi? Because they don't have a sixth bowler. Sixth bowler is Karen Pollard. They don't have a sixth bowler. So that is the question they're going to look at. I think they've bought Jaydev Unadkat for the later half of the season. If the tracks start to hold a little bit, then Unadkat is your go-to bowler. I think he'll stay with Murugan Ashwin. I mean, Murugan Ashwin, the previous game, had a fabulous game. So they'll stay with Ashwin, but there's that one bowling thing they need to sort out a little bit.
Yeah, a gap that would have been previously filled by, I'm not even going as far back as Malinga Joy, but Trent Bolt, who's going to be bowling very shortly. I mean, you've got Bolt there. He's a reliable. I mean, the opposition's got a whole lot of runs on the board. Bolt can come and put things right.
Yeah, I know. No, Bolt. And Mumbai knows the value of Bolt. Has known the value of Bolt. They tried to go for him in the auction again. See, the curse of successful teams are that when an auction comes around, your players will go for more. So both Delhi and Mumbai have been denuded. Simply, they are paying the price of success. They are very good teams. Therefore, whoever plays with them looks better and therefore goes for a higher price. So, that's a problem. We keep looking at Zaid Khan and saying that, dude, you could have kept Bolt. They couldn't have kept Bolt. They just didn't have the money to do it. And that's exactly the problem that happens all the time with top teams like Mumbai and Delhi.
It's a very good point. It's a point that you must, I think, can be elaborated some other day. And that happens with good companies. It happens with everywhere. If you're a good team, you build a team, and then people say, yeah, okay, we'll pick that one up. So you make the team and then you lose it.
Yeah, well, that's as you said, a discussion for
another day. I was going to have a dig at Manchester United, but then I was going to have a dig at Manchester United. I know what will happen on social media. I mean, I was just going to say, except if you had Pogba for 5 years. If you had Pogba for 5 years, you're actually hoping someone poaches him.
Well, it's not even about social media.
Shots fired.
I'd stop hosting right now if you're discussing them. But it's okay. It's a love-hate relationship that you love to have, and it's part of the fun of supporting teams in that particular.
They've renewed Bruno Fernandes, so they're done okay.
Yeah, but
see, I'm searching for a comeback line for all the United fans.
But for the moment, it's not Fernandes, it's not Pogba. All eyes will be on Ishan Kishan and Rohit Sharma to give them that little bit of a kick. Is Ishan Kishan the one for you to do a Buttler, Harsha?
Has to, because he's the one who can get them off to 30 in the first 2 overs, for example, or 35, 36 in the first 3 overs. He's in tremendous form. He's had, 4 or 5 half centuries on the go. With Ishan Kishan that he won't give you 15, 42 balls. If Ishan Kishan stays in, he is pulling this target down. He is pulling this asking rate down. So, and also don't forget, after him is a rookie, and after him is a rookie. So what they can do is, if they get off to a really good start, they can have Tilak Verma at 3, and then depending on how it goes, actually maybe send up Sams as a free hitter at number 4, maybe with Pollard and Tim David at the bottom. So if Ishan Kishan, Rohit Sharma can give them a great start, then they can fiddle with that batting order a bit. Otherwise, I mean, someone like Anmol Preet just got to tell himself, "Isse acha mere ko chance nahi milega life mein."
Well, they did play around with Sam's batting position the other day, I think. But Joy, I know Harsha was suggesting Sam's, but you also got Pollard and David as options. I know David.
No, I'm saying Sam's only if. Yeah, I'm saying Sam's only if they've got to 10 overs and got 90 and you just want to keep it going.
But overall, just a final question I'm going to throw at you, Joy. Do you see the likes of Pollard, David, Sam's, all of them padded up and ready for them to try and attack this target?
I think they will. Definitely they will. They have to. And if this is relatively inexperienced middle order that they have, I don't think they'll expose it if they have a chance. If the openers go for a long time together, I think they'll go straight on. They'll move straight to that late middle order rather than the early middle order.
Well, that's what we have. A quick reminder of the target. We were almost out of our prediction zone. Just by a couple of runs, we managed to get there. One of us managed to get there.
Well done, Gautam.
5 seconds.
Modest way of saying it.
I know.
One of us, just one of us. Who's that one? I don't know, just one of us.
But I must confess, the way Jasprit Bumrah and Taimal Mills bowled the last 2 overs, I had no business of getting there. It was 210 all the way once Pollard,
and we
Buttler
haven't even talked about the greatest T20 bowler in the game today. 4 overs, 3 for 17 in a 190 chase.
Yeah,
That's
I
why
guess we were
Bumrah is the best.
overwhelmed by Buttler. I think we deserve a
Yeah.
quick moment for Jasprit Bumrah, especially Harsha. I think the last word from you on Bumrah, especially because of the bad day he had the other day.
And if Bumrah's had a bad day, you almost know there's a very good day coming around the corner, because he will not have two bad days. And in this innings, to bowl 4 overs, 3 for 17, look at that last over he bowled. The opposition's on the rampage. He bowls a 3-run over in the 19th. And if Mumbai Indians pull this game out, it is Bumrah who's given them that opportunity. I mean, there's a reason he's the best in the world at what he does.
Yep. This we still feel maybe edge with the bowling side at the moment, having put the runs on the board, but maybe they haven't put enough runs on the board. We'll try and assess where they are in the run chase for Mumbai in the 10th over on Cricbuzz Combox. And then, of course, the busy time begins. The wrap-up of this game probably merged with the look ahead to the second game coming up from Pune. That is Gujarat against Delhi. Lots to do in the evening, doubleheader Saturday. For now, on Cricbuzz Live from Harsha, Joy and myself, that's all we have.